So I've created a simple dashboard here, nothing very fancy, but I hope all of you will agree that it looks very, very clean. As you can see, we have a table. I've selected the top 10 customers. We also have a conditional formatting. So we have put the data bar, sales and profit. Now let's understand how do we create something like this. So I'll first create a pivot table, and it's not very complicated. So I'll do this in a little bit of a hurry, but we still cover all the topics. So we keep customer name and sales amount. We will select our top 10 customers. Let's also sort it in a descending order. And finally, we can remove all the decimal places like this. And let's also keep everything center aligned. All right. Now, if you notice, I can't delete the value from A3. I can't pivot will not allow me to delete it, but we can always hide it. So you press right click and then format cells. And then in custom, we put three semicolons. Remember, we did this with the heat map as well. And like this, you can hide that value. We can also now put a conditional formatting data bar, which looks great. Let's also create a chart. So I just create a normal chart here. And we will change the design. So we'll change the chart type to a bar chart. Let's also remove these labels that you see. So I can remove this total and this customer name as well. So we'll click on hide all field buttons on the chart. So we get a very clean chart like this. Let's also remove the title. To see the data labels inside, we click on design and then chart element, data label, and then inside end. Obviously, the default doesn't look very nice. The numbers are barely readable. So a small tip here, you can click on format and just select any of these shape styles and you will notice, let me just select the number first. So once all the numbers are selected, you can select a shape style and now your numbers stand out like this. We can also increase the width a little bit. So let's increase the weight and I think this looks great. Next to this, we also want to put a slicer. So we click on our pivot table analyze option and then select insert slicer. And let's say we want this for our segment. So the slicer can come on the right of the chart. Let's also increase the width, and remember to keep the width constant, you have to click on pivot table options and then remove the option called auto fit column widths and update. Once you have done this, we are getting there, but we also want to put some images just to make it seem a little nicer. To do that, let's increase the chart size a little bit to maximize the space. And maybe in this area, I want to keep images of maybe dollar signs or coins. So on insert, we have icons and we can just directly search for an icon. And these are all copyright free, so you don't have to go to Google and search for it. So if I search for dollar, let's search for something else. Let's say we want to search for profit. Excellent. I think this looks much nicer. So maybe we can have the which one should we select? Maybe this or maybe this one. I think the notes look nice. Once you get the first one, we can reduce the size a little bit. Just copy and paste it a few more times. Select all of them. And then we can also change the color in graphics format. So I'll choose obviously a green color. Now we want to hide the grid lines from the back. So on view, we can hide the grid line. As a matter of fact, we can even hide the headings and the formula bar. So it looks very much like a PowerPoint slide now. But we don't want these additional columns and rows. So we can select my row, select all the rows and then right click and hide. Similarly, I'll select my column, select all the columns and then right click and hide. And this is how our final dashboard appears now, right? So it looks very clean. The segment slices work as well, right? And everything works beautifully. Like I said, this is just an illustration. There are hundreds of different examples on pivot table dashboards available online. And I strongly recommend you to look at what the other people have been creating. Do remember that there are inherent limitations. For example, you can't create dynamic dashboards. To do that, you will have to use a tool like Power BI, for example. But for simple dashboards that you want to create, I think you can get very close to what the client would love to see. Also, another tip, to hide the ribbon from the top, you can press Ctrl Shift F1, and this way you can hide even the ribbon from the top. Now, because we don't have the formula bar or the heading or the ribbon, you notice that this looks very much like a PowerPoint slide. Thank you.